Nsuubwa ebintu byange nyoka bitagamba nawe benshi.
We are here to employ more. The branches are the following: Mbarara, Ibanda, Kavian, Siloni, Ugaga, DSU, and Ingarama. So in case you are interested, stay with us. Those are the branches you can join. One of the branches. And these are savings and loan products. Our loans and deposits have good competitive rates. For example, our fixed deposits are at 12% per annum. And that is a very good rate in town here, because we have moved in banks. Most of the banks are at 8 or 10 maximum. But for us, we are giving at 12%. And our loans are 2% per annum. That's also very competitive. And under savings products, we have voluntary savings, we have fixed deposit account, we have minor saving account, institutional accounts, group accounts. And in our loans, we have business loan, agriculture loan, border loan, salary loan, chapa loan, and school fees loan. Members, I want to show you our performance for the last 9 years. Prove how we perform, that we are growing stronger and stronger. So on that table, we have brought comparison between 2015 to 2021. So in savings, there are zeros behind there. So the zeros are behind in figures. By 2015, we had 620 million. By 2016, we had 1 billion. In 2017, we had 1.8 billion. 2018, we had 2.6 billion. 2019, we have 3.7 billion. 2020, we have 4.7 billion. 2021, 6.3 billion. Loan portfolio, 2015, we had 429 billion. 2016, we had 647 million. 2017, we had 1.4 billion. 2018, we had 2.9 billion. 2019, we had 4.8 billion. 2020, we had 6.7 billion. And 2021, there was a very big jump from 6 billion to 11 billion. The share capital 2020, we had 1.1 billion. 1 billion. Membership, 2015, we had million. 2019, we got a gross surplus of 825 million. 2020, we got 1.1 billion. 2021, we got 2 billion. That's how we have been moving, and the trend is very clear. The Sacco's growth is on a positive trend, as seen above. This is a sign of Mellinium Sacco being embraced by members, and this performance is also attributed by good governance, especially the board members. You have seen them here, and also competent management, that is the staff. We thank you, our staff. Can I invite the staff at this function? Our staff, I also have to bring the staff at this time. Can I introduce to you our staff? Madam Sawia, our counsel, no, our lawyer for the Sacco standard for recognition. He has done a good work. These are our staff, headed by the general manager, Mr. Avaho, Ronald. Most of these are branch managers and a credit supervisor. So you can go back. We have many staff, but the branches are open, so we could not bring them here. I want to bring out some achievements we have done so far, especially in these last 2 years. We have constructed a branch office in Rugaga. Those who have this book, it is the picture on front. That is our branch in Rugaga, and it is the only storage building in that town. I thank the Archdeacon, whom I see Canon Biarhanga stand up for recognition. He helped us so much, and Mr. Bruce. We also changed the name from Ankole Diocese Mellinium Sacco to Mellinium Sacco 2012. The reason is that the first name was a little bit biased. Ankole Diocese, it was also a sentence. So this one is inclusive, and we did it in preparation to make sure that we go for a bank. So that is the name that we are selling out when we are registering the bank. We have already started looking for papers for the bank. We have also acquired management information system. Formerly, we were a manual. We would enter on a hard book. Then also in cross branching, we could not do it. But now, if you are a member in Rugaga or Kabuyanda or anywhere, you go to a different branch. The branch manager opens the computer and he sees you. Therefore, now we are operating on the system. We have also integrated with BSU systems, especially in collection of school fees. So now there is no reason why your child or students of BSU cannot pay their school fees in Mellinium Sacco. The moment they bank on our Sacco, their treasurer or the bursar will see that deposit. That is the integration I'm meaning. Therefore, it helped us to promote that school fees of those students. We also joined mobile banking. That is Sacco platform. Mobile banking, you don't need to walk into the bank now. You can bank the money using your mobile phone. So that one we have also done it. And we want to bring more systems that we can also have ATMs. When you are in Kampala, when you are in Mbarara, when you are everywhere, you can access Mellinium Sacco. But that is when you join us. We were lucky. The president, together with the vice president, gave us a branded new double cabin pickup. We thank them for that. You know, we have branches which are very far and hard to reach areas. So when we presented it to the vice president and the president, that's the reason they gave us that double cabin. Members who are here, we have also given out our dividends. We have continued to give out dividends. Last year alone, we gave out 1.1 billion, and each dividend, each share would get 5,259 shillings per share out of 10,000 per share. I think that is a big percentage. Your 10,000 can earn you more than 50%. We are also doing massive mobilization and recruitment, especially in Kampala and Mbarara. So that is also an achievement we have done. Now I need to show you the strategies now. Our strategies that we are looking for. First of all, we want to embrace the Sacco to ease the banking. We want everybody to join the Sacco. We want to reduce the lines in our branches. We don't want any excuse when you're in Kampala or in Fort Portal where we don't have a branch, you fail to access us. You can withdraw the money. From there, you can bank the money. We also intensifying the mobilization of more members, especially Mbarara business community and Kampala. We are targeting these big people. When this bank started, we started with small, and started in church with reverends. But now we are looking at big businessmen. We went in Kampala, very prominent people bought our shares. we are prohibited to say who bought, but allow me to say that the vice president is also a member. She bought shares when we were in Kampala. So those are some of the big people that bought our shares. We are aiming at training our staff and capacity building. We want to employ more of our graduate youth. Our invited guests, we have a challenge of youth in the society. And one of the reasons we started this Sacco is to employ the youth. So now we intend to employ more because we are opening up more branches, and therefore we shall employ more youth. We also want to increase efficiency and effectiveness of our processing. We no longer want, when you are processing like a loan, we take one week. 1 week, you get a loan. But formerly, you would take a month. By the time the loan matures, you have already abandoned the idea. So this time, we want to increase the efficiency. And therefore, we are looking at Kampala market, open a branch. We are looking at other towns around us, open more branches. In doing this, we also got some challenges, or we have some challenges. First of all, we are failing to get cheap source of funds to meet our members' demand. I've told you that our loans are 2% per month. That is 24% per annum. It is still high, but it is because we get I'm discouraged to find that we have they are very expensive. We also want to bring those expensive systems and run this Sacco at that standard. So some of you who can help us in meeting some of these challenges, you are most welcome. There are some requests I want to make here. One is invest in our Sacco by buying more shares to grow our share capital. Secondly, mobilize for us so many members as we can grow our membership. Thirdly, support our dream of becoming a bank in the near future. Members, this Sacco is going nowhere unless it becomes a bank. And me as a chairman or these board members or staff cannot afford to take it into a bank. The reason you are here is that join us, support us. You know, we have people with different heads and ideas. When you see our invited keynote speakers, I'm happy to see Professor Mushenges. You're most welcome. Thank you for coming. Some of these are Richard Kishka is a senior banker. People have ideas. Sir Richard Kishka, we don't want you to die with those ideas. That's why we are inviting you here to come and present to us, how can we take this Sacco into a bank? The people we have invited here, they want to join us, but give us tips tonight. Lastly, in our request, give Mellinium Sacco a priority of saving and credit, and take credit from it. Members invite you. Most of you are business people. But when you have your money, you want to take it in 2 different banks. But today I want to assure you that Mellinium Sacco can accommodate any amount of money in our branches. I'm assuring you that any amount of loan you want, we can give it out. I'm not supposed to say secrets, but at least I remember picking more than 300 million myself. I also eat loans, but we can give you any amount of money. Me, I can talk about myself, but we have given more money than that one. Appreciation. I wish to thank the following people and groups for their timely efforts in promoting this Sacco. First of all, I want to thank the members. Can we see the members? Because when we are inviting, we invited every person. We chose many people, but we don't know who are members and non-members. Can I see the hands of members present? I think the majority This is my special guest. I invited the mayor as my special guest. You are most welcome, Honorable Mayor Kacheves. Thank you for accepting our invitation, particularly me who invited you. Thank you. I want to thank our Lord Bishop and Mama RC. Mama RC, thank you for joining us. But you have done a great work supporting our bishop. The bishop has recruited most of us, including me. I want a big thank you. Let us clap for our bishop. I want to thank the Ankole Diocese staff. All of you, generally, I can't mention everybody. They have been partners in taking us, of course, led by the DS and the Dean, after the Bishop, of course. Thank you so much. The board members, you have worked as a team. Clap for the board members. These board members is a great team. Some of them are not here. They have sent their apologies. Reverend Chizinduka and Herbert Mugumya are not with us. But thank you for working as a team with me, together with me. I thank the big five Some were putting 150, others 250, but we prayed. So when we invited the vice president, he brought a key that we are donating you a motorcycle, a motor vehicle. So we are very grateful. Our Lord is living and he hears our prayers. I also thank the vice president, retired Major Jessica Arupo, for the love she has for the Sacco, but most importantly, by buying shares in our Sacco. Omucharo ogwe tumutero mu ngaro tugwire kizimbe eki niwe yakigwire niwe yabari omugenyi mukuru kandi izobe eryo nibwe yaturaganisa emotoka nangwa nomanye bya State House obundi nogeraganisa obokurubatirira konka kutwagire Kampala in March after like 1 or 2 months. We brought a double cabin pickup, which is here. We have brought it such that you see it. We have not registered it. We haven't got a number plate from State House, but soon, if we get a number plate, it will be on the road. I would like to thank the founder patron, Bishop Sheldon Westgwa, and the team at the time. Mwinchirizaho, Nsime, the founder, board member, led by Kaganzi. Kaganzi ting manyakano Kaganzi ya abaho. Ninga kwa kubaharo, founder, board member. Can you stand up for recognition? Thank you so much. Nito stand chire ahuba sijire. Kandi twasanga bigwire branches mukaga ito tuongireho emwe tukababa nafu konka tukenda ngo tubanze to building systems nito turi building systems. So we thank you so much. We thank the assistant leadership, the current board, and the management for the teamwork. Lastly or finally, I thank all of you for coming and attending in big numbers. Mwete Romungaro for coming. My last call is that buy more shares. I know most of you, by show of hands, I saw that you are members. But now we are buying in millions. I'm telling you, we have members of 100 million, 80 million, 50 million. So when you look at yourself and you find you have 2,000, 10,000, you buy more shares, please. I thank you for coming, for God and my country. Thank you for listening to me.
Nani jangu mutero mungaro yebare mnonga chairman, and I want to announce the arrival of Mr. Igundura and the Vivian Mevere Kwisha Nabomba Achiri. Yes. Erizoba twamanyanguru na wakubunda ine doubt habya ruhanga erizoba babo confirminga abakwa judisi barangwe motoka kajutunga shara kandi sharezo Bishop taratugambire nkitwe abakristaya baguzire kugira ngo shara zikasta kwenda ngwitwe turabemo twagura ati atugambira ngo ariyo natushabira tutasinga mwene Bishop okugwa kwitwa amanya yikwarigire nani sasira katiho na kanon bobs babanza bafuka konka bayika bachemera kanon bobs akagura ubuntu akagura burusande konka bambe mwabimanya icyare sirecho ngo kushabana gukora kandi abantu bona baba satisfied abako kanonyango bitaha Geoffrey baketaha Erika baketaha bakaza icyo kinteje mwena hati twikiriza ngo necabona mebare mnongo Yes, mbatero mungaro. Yes. Chairman yagira ngo sente zone zo kwenda. Shaba bakamutakayo bangwaro ka security. Abukwa nawe inona stamina batinaza kushaba miliyoni tuzaganira aine proti ya tanari ata. So namujyango yetu wari. Nawe cyo sente zone zo kwenda nozitunga konkoma nyengo hariyo kariya ka security. Nenda kwachia Lord Mayor. Thank you so much. Nebare and ko waikanora mse mnywani wawe. That's very good. Man comes. I understand RDC warwa mpararia kokati na mreya shitama. Wow. Yes. Yes. Wotiro homas ibintu bindukire bara district manguru abashobakuru bahango atuvaresire nimwe. So and president we bari twakwakira mazima we bari kwije. Yes. Abinji nitumanyana nakandi batushaba kuguma ntugura antongera mu shares eji bank nyoya ntini sabuka noreba ukherezo mutwaro gumwe then dividends zikarenga 50% management mu kitero mu ngaro zamani. I'm telling you mbere ndakachurire kandi manya nimwe muragumena cyo nabo kwa bandi ratiri ubusente wetu noze yo bwasigayo na yushanga baburi. So mwe nimwe babatero mu ngaro zamani yengera tuzakongera kandi waro mu gishogo okutakushira kuri abarebeka abukuba abunkuza kweta tinyina kubire ni mweta kabine ito nka ba DS na bahakonka ninyende MC nyete founder patron aijaha ajechi ya gaba na nyempa zombe tabongo nketa ho bishop mwe bari mu
yabare mnonga MC kandi kuyashobora shara yanje inashabere najanti yabanyetise yabanye hate shara yanje kanegera bazohure shara yanje kanegera emirundi mingi nohura abantu batera ubururu harihe motoka harihe hato umuntu achikwata usanga ubundi hino kuba manyine nimucyetegereza mwe nyokanisha abantu mukamutwere nangwa nkanjizire ngo ninye ndaroringa kantu kariya nkanta kwenda kakorwe ntaru tobundi utakashanga abana nabo banzana nanye bakakora ikintu ukashanga cyakwatwa kandi umwe muri twe nari uba manyine nawe kavuge motoka ndikurga shema twine yobugenyi konka chirongi twatwineho na manager na big 5. Where is big 5? Has he come? He hasn't. Takizire. So konka chintu bakachikora ngwene kunareba ubujurizi bwo mukazo wasingwire nico nagera ngweje shara mbwenu mukameshari yanje akagihura. Actually nkanizire ngo nguriko natere nakaruru naba ninye nagikwata eje motoka niza kugigaba niko nagambere. So that there is transparency of the highest order. Konka kandi kunahikaha nabanza nagera Pentecosto yakwate motoka abakristayo ntitumurashabiri mwe nawo nayetisi kandi share yanje niyo mukama yahurire eyo kugira ngo yakwate umuntu rabatine kakwate haleluya kandi abandi babira bakwata abandi nabo n'abakatolika mwe n'abakristayo nibiyebyo. Anyway, ateshara nushite yanje niyo mukama yahurire zanyi tarasurire. Speech delivered at business dinner organized by the Mellinium Sacco 2012 at Bishop's residence. Our distinguished guests, mainly the speakers who are here, it's not every day that you get guests like this. By the way, even the date had to be a bit adjusted because these are people, they are traveling, whatever, very high responsibilities. Honorable Sir Richard Kijka, we welcome you warmly. Mutero Mungaro and Mwachi. Needs no introduction. Then to Vivian Igundura, Yemera Ubeho, Ugomchara Kana Ibembera, Barclays Bank, ya Uganda yon ambwe banka yon. Kandi banka Barclays ekeria bazu. So, nimureba nawe profile ye. Twine Professor Mushenjezi, abamwe nibasana nawo kubogo mutakumanya, konkanu we Vice Chancellor wa Christian University, Uganda Christian University. Kandi University jombwenu na yombwe nebyayo ijo obutubire ntukora graduation yitu ya BSU. I was forced to publicly make a statement. Abana bakija kuba graduating rate ine Vice President baksiga abana bona bagenda nabagirangu University y'inkumanyo mu Uganda. Abana bakutebekana ari umugenyo mukuru naki, there is a system ni UCU. Kandi tukashaba no kusasirwa guest of order Vice President. So tukiriyo ntwe Kampala tuza kubashi Kampala. The chairman Mellinium Sacco, the board members, ladies and gentlemen, kanjeze wokurafya abo at least chairman biona hihi abagamba. I greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Nimbasima mwena bo kwija adineji kandi mureba na faith yitu ninjire birenche abwentebe nambwe nagambira no kongerayo nagambira manager around shamunana ntikonkoshi miri kuhangusya yagiro kwikiriza kuki. So nyenda kusima okureba ngo mwija kandi umuringo nkogo. Appreciation goes to the big five na najigambire bakizire numuza kubagambira. Key highlights. Following the Ankole Diocesan Synod, our Sacco name was changed from Ankole Mellinium to Mellinium Sacco 2012 because we want to widen our membership. The Sacco is on a positive trend. The chairman has told you everything. And even some of the speakers will talk about it. The Sacco dream of a bank. Certainly, why we talk about a bank, kuna vile bishop nyowe kantine kiteka teko cyo kugira ngo ntandike Sacco nari banka nari ki ibintu binayiraganise ababire baruho nimba bishop bariya kachitarumu konka nko mwebembezi kuna yetoruire yona hinabirenza bangira ngo konka habwenki tukutandika so niyo cyatandikiro kandi ebyahandikirwe the scriptures Matthew 25 verse 14 to 30 talks about the parable of the talents. One was given 5, one was given 3, one was given 2. Where he referred 5, it grew. The one who was given 3 grew, and the one who was given 1 buried it, and it didn't give profit. So therefore, Jesus' teaching shows that profit is not a bad thing. Wakora magoba noboti no mshango gukozire. The bad thing is unfair profit. Well done, good and faithful servant. You've been faithful in a little, I give you more. So twenda kusima okureba ngo mubasize kwikirizana nitwe kwatanisiza hamwe. Lessons zetu kweganiziha Certainly, we are in business of the kingdom of God. Yokubura enjiri, radio yitu na yone koromurmo district 72 kandi Yesu nkoko yaterize cyo kureberaho icyo kubaba biki barungi nitwe sakeji tongere kugitama amani nekiroto citu cyo kuba bank chiza kushikira. Making of profit is not evil, nanachigambere. The key word is faithfulness, obwesigwa. Echecho nicho kintu ekikuru. And by the way, echahandikiro nkigira ngo ko kuba mwesigwa muri biki niza kongera bingi bihango bingi obe in charge of them nyobo bujulizi mbwineje kunazo nurwe ni kimwa bintu bina ashabire mukama kumpereza nabo mwese gombuntu buke mukama yaguma nanyongeraho nambwe ha gondi Paul ari budget yitu ya diocese ni siringi zingahe 4 billion diocese just. What about our consolidated 17 billion new budget yitu ya yobureberezi. So consolidated. So when you are faithful in the little akongera ubuzunani zibwa akongera nambwe niyo nitangarira munonga abantu abakwiba abashuma hati ko kwiba nari bakwasa karmo wakakora kubi hati kakushisira umugisha uko abantu batakubiyetegereza bamukwasa kantu ke kamwe kace akariya bambinga andabura kimwe y'abantu bashoborokerwa bakarire batunguka every other day. So now people are trusting us with big monies. Now there are about 4 people who have given shares of million Uganda shillings. About 4 people. This one wants to bring, actually, chairman, how much? Chairman, 100 million. Nangwaka gambiri 200. Muna mkwate kubi, nwala bahia 100. We have talked of 200, I know him. So, our being, so let us be faithful, honest, appeal. I invite you to join us to be members of this Sacco, buy more shares. The Sacco has now consistently made profits for the last 3 years, even during COVID season. The return on investment per share is competitive and is better than even banks offer or lifetime savers associations. Some of us belong to those associations, the NSSFs of this world. Sente bakutwaba okuba nanye nkabikayo zizukushana hati neziri omusako yanje zerukwereza. So we want to give thanks to God for that. It is unfortunate that distinguished guests in Uganda, there is only one pure local bank, purely local. That is Centenary Bank. It's also a religiously founded financial institution. And the most highly profit-making bank after Stanbic. Actually, last year they made profits of 200 billion nagamba zinga muzomezani 200 billion profit by beha hoza gross nazi 70% of that is to the church. 70% because 35% belongs to the Catholic Secretariat, 35% belongs to the Catholic dioceses. Ebitibu hama kurika water informed. Ebitibu hama. Nibabitano mahurre debo wa Stanbic yata ham. Ugunu wakucheza yesento mu Uganda yona. Ugogo. Profit imwe ezanyo nizingai paya 275 billion. Hatima mliazi zingahi 2 billion. Tumuru kubi. Conclusion. Once again, distinguished guests, in your respective capacities, thank you for gracing this historical occasion and accepting to dream with us. Whether a bank or a Sacco, because there is a new school of thought, kutwajire Kampala, but jirangukongi mwaba kwenda banka, numbasa kuba mwacherirwe, abaje basize n'abakari, numbasa nchibasa kwetenjesa mu Sacco yanyu, konka tujirangu whether Sacco or bank, we are the fastest, now one of the fastest growing financial institutions in Uganda, I can claim. Let research be done. One of the fastest, one of is a very good protection. One of the fastest, one of the fastest growing financial institutions in Uganda. So why not join? I appeal to you to invest with us and we make profit for you. Hati kamba gambere kindu concluding. Nyobwire bwanje bwona ntaha ndiyo muhereza nkabanza nashomo bushome Santa Kabire Bishop, Deputy Headmaster Chuvura Ntare, UC Yumukono, I was a dean, whatever, until I came here as a bishop. Even now here as a bishop. Obwire bwokuza kureba ebintu byangi tiburu. Inaka gamba kitwa tujya ngo officer na office ebi. Ibi yawe nibikora ki? Nibifa ngo uri officer na office ebi. Ote yente vazirukangaho ortoche tokumanyiriyargamu aruho mukozi wanje omwe no kutangaza akangira ngo konka bishop hona toyija ukareba ibintu byawe nyoka naza kubirugamo hato mukozi wakunyeshengereza I know toje wanje romani gatamwe sete zanje ariyo nakora ki na hato banaheza amazing hasha arono bunkuza the same direction konka karugayo utajire mbwenu ninjire sente nizo sente zo kubasa kutomu Sacco okarema no kurebayo de rose kija zikakora ki amagoba mwe bare kumpurikiza kandi mwe bare kuja ebyanyeba mutafayo konka nabasima
Mtere Bishop Mungaro nebare ko kubano hura bagira ngo araha abantu abatarufa no tangara habwenji ngo no barufa baraguma bakumutse kutandika bank kimanyisa ngo tarufa abuka bank iraguma forever ndi bamutero Mungaro abantu bingi twena ntubyama kwa bukushesha wabuzo mute cyarose buri muntu atinyisangiro mugo yabandi so eberoto mutkorara no rote bibyonka akabyama yarota bank yagikora gambiro mukazi bagikora ati worosere yes ntabwo icyo twenda kusima bishop can't bank yonka abuke binte byakoze ni bingi aho bishop omuntu akwenda gamba izina kajetinyewe nontegana sabukwa ibintu byokozere think byitegereza abuko ni byingi munonga ntabwo icyo we are proud of you chamwe guchi anangambira da mutwine chai kera berwende ngambira tujuni nyezo chai nayo ntusa kujisina sana tumwa twita ntusa kuba twagitandika kwa turi no kugishabara yes we bari mnonga ntwenda really kukusima twaza gumzamo twaza kuzaha bagira ngo haro aba bankers abesire batwanjuraho Stanbic. Yes, I have seen the way you answered when ugarka mu with confidence ngo billion zingayi wazigamba uguyatinira gambes so we bare munonga konkani to wazagamba mu Sacco ni to twayeta abanda ba Sacco nabo basokutagarka kandi abatangire yes kakubaroho banka abakorwa bank sezindi bantu bashaba mutweyoreke tubarebe abo kuba you very good Hungria you housing finance you know you got food very good mutero Mungaro yes abande nba kandi bakiriyo no bacinga you are right abuko na henda mwebari kandi ejini Mellinium Sacco yo kubasa gukora oketa baba banka za Sacco batakuzenda mama nyango ko mbyaronze bakwiya yo kandi ukona konka kushanga ni muntu mwiza mukati joining babatero Mungaro mwebari kukwatana nitwe nabwo ico ntubasima Ntuenda kusima na mama Dr. Ars Mwesugu ibe bintu Bishop akora that is the conducive atmosphere area in Rome. Yes wabo mukazi akuchira na kutiganusa tini cyo kubasa kurota na kana waza kurota na kusima nabwo cyo bakutera umugaro zamani munonga to kubasa kurota jo ino mukazumbyaro bose nabwo cyo ndunda kusima mama webare munonga webare kandi uyinemera mu minji konkayona ukajikora ukajikiriza twaza kweta ninjira guest speakers not so yes katubanze nanu abanzaha sa Richard Aaron Professor Aaron please I beg your pardon basakwija then tugumze umwakire nengaro n'abantu bamagezi minji kandi kutubatunga nkaha twenda kusharinga nabo shemero Professor nakwakira
uko bireba ibinebya uko bireba
Tienes quase tingeres zo.
Kama simu My Lord Bishop Sheldon omchara wawe my fellow guest speakers leadership ya Mellinium Sacco n'abantu bakuru mweno mitinsa byanyu nashemero mnongo kwijaha kandi isima Bishop okunyeta okwija kuganiraho nayimwe kandi no kushemeraho nayimwe mukozere greetings from Uganda Christian University where I serve, and I must commend Bishop Sheldon because I was appointed during his chairmanship of the council when musimiraho akoreko hano shota yesere nayerekwa akarotaji nawe cyo mama Arsi nayo yabaye kuguma no mureka karota I'm stressing. I also bring greetings from Franciscan Investment Cooperative at St. Francis Chapel, which I helped to establish on 2nd October 2010. So we are almost age mates. And no shorten to Ingana to Wajira Okachi.
Ya tuihaho mwana.
Tuihaho mu ruharo purana ashemerwa abo kubankanyeteraho mu high school. Niyo yanyoroyiro omukujunwa no mukura aho mu high school aho no twanyetire na with other young people now Bishop Nathaniel Msibwe were housemates. Kandi tukaburengiri omcyange cyona tarabatara kutumanya mbwe n'ukundi kwija omuraharo nimpura nashemera aho kuba cathedral yo niyo nagayitwiremo kandi yankuruza kandi ndeba banywano banje bengi kundi kurabemesha ndeba abantu bijya kumanya abo kuzira hamwe abo buri hamwe ngiri mbwenu Bible negiro mu Proverbs 29 verse 18 ngu atar kuorekwa nhabaho ki abo kwerekera where there is no vision people perish. Iki kituru kujaguzaha nari kibana bagambaho kikarugo mukorekwa azokorekwa kukira kwizera umuntu omwe kira kwizera abantu bengi nobori yaho kitekateko kikwizera konke mirundi mingi ebitekateko nk'ebintu byita ebyakurugiremo abandi bantu omugasho nabo icyo ndicyo nanye ndikusimira Bishop Sheldon wagizira korekwa kwa Mellinium Sacco iki abo kuba kuri unoshonga akakitekateka aho yakireka ati nikiza kundusya ati ndikuza kubiva sebi kuri hatutaria mbwenu ebiro bibiri yo kuyikumi omwaka gw'enkumi ibiri n'ikumi nkana arga America kushoma bantaka chiko ka St. Francis Chapel Council kanseri kwebembera St. Francis Chapel Makere. As a St. Francis Chapel in a vision yo kugira ngo a church that is holistically transformed. Mbwenu bayine ikintu cyo kugira ngo chapel shemeye kurango members bayo but holistically transformed. In other words, holistic transformation which is all round, spiritual, social, economic, and so on. So when we were at a council retreat in Mirembe, I got this idea. I said, but how can we as a church talk about holistic transformation of members' lives when we are not looking at the financial or the economic transformation aspect of people's lives? So I said in my heart, na tunga conviction an investment group for the church. Nkantura ni shasho kurangwe kanisa yitu y'ecyasho Uganda riyabagaiga konka baboro ngetegereza a very rich church but without assets. Abako bwigo butariyo assets nabone buramu. So I always nturanye no omujinyo kugira ngo church yitesheme kubengeika. So nagira nkatutandike na St. Francis Chapel. Awokuba we are a model church. That's what we used to say, and we still say. Awokuba ijwerema batege babashomire makere, all the skills are there. So I said, but St. Francis Chapel should set the pace for the church. So ekiteka teko no kyarire when agambira chaplain waito wakai Reverend Canon Dr. Ebong Masako n'umunyabamwe ntinimpura umutima gwanjye nyine conviction standike an investment group for our church. Atubuzima nte atumbweno ruhanga yakikoreke atokitandike naura nati ataturanga ubu yakikorekire ati you champion it kandi nje kitandika. And so on that very Sunday, he gave me an opportunity to share with the church. I went and wrote a concept and I shared the vision with the church members, and very many people jumped on it. At Kuna has a sharing to remember Pravan to Behanix. Kahanix to Kamaganabri Navandi. So to Ayambueno Mukagamush. It's Taniki. Ogano mawa izire akaija kankaga na okuruguma magana abiri. So ikintu kikoreka ki, there are many people who don't embrace visions quickly. Abasa kutandika ikiteka teka ukabisha ko yakitandikire ukabara kucyakira nabaki abenyira banza bareka ngo barebe kuba rabibe nari kintu kukiragwe sabengino banza bazaha fence to see what happens. So nkoto atandike kityo. Now when I was designing the concept for this group, ngatunga ikishane kikiyo muri zabure yo kubanza ikiri kugira ngo umuntu ari mu ruhanga naba nashanko muti ogubiro hamgera yamezi, a tree planted by the streams of living water. Ngwabo kuba gutura no kubengera kandi tugurukoma. So the initial emblem for the Sacco was a tree. We drew a simple tree twagihindura logo yetu. But now that tree has changed, has become digital. So wareba logo ya Franciscan Investment Group, Franciscan Cooperative, noreva a digital tree, but the whole idea remained. So that is how we started. In 2014, we changed our registration status to become a multi-purpose cooperative. I don't know what you are as Mellinium Sacco, but us we're a multi-purpose cooperative because we realized that members had other needs, including buying land, real estate, and so on. So to hinder our scope. By 2021, which was the last general meeting, got to remember Zenkumibiri, Maganana Mshanj, 2,407 members, with total assets of 18.6 billion. So naningambira Bishop tutikiri bachekonka kana ushaka tubashizamani inaba man 2,407, but with assets of 18.6 billion. And last year, in spite of COVID, our return on investment at gross was about 17%, which is good. That's a good RTI. Kamba here the whole Octuziran Tukura, Mbori Kichani, Tandaka in the first AGM in 2011, in the members Maganashat with savings of only 86,102, a loan portfolio of only 86,102,000, a loan portfolio of 98,846, and the total assets at that time were 291 million. When what was the first AGM. By 2015, we had grown to 851 members and an asset base of 3.1 billion. So you see, it was a very exponential growth. At a very high rate. By 2018, we had grown to 1,524 members, 2018, with a total asset base of 6.4 billion. But by 2021, we had reached the current membership. So FIC is growing at a very high rate and it is unstoppable. What is the nature of our investment mix? We give loans to members, we invest in real estate projects. We also give short-term financial investments in terms of in money markets. And we also make long-term investments, treasury bonds and shares. So we have tried to diversify our portfolio. We have so far opened 14 real estate projects. Bueno, estates is to be members in Ikuminaina, Namnonga, Omri Wakiso, Kampara, na Mukono. So each turukora and to gra acres to Zwagan some plots, then to Stamem Handa to the member as Wagura. Abarko enda kuombeka tuombekera then tuja tuelezea kwa vyao waweza kushasha. So far we have 14 real estate projects. Benefits za Sacco ni nyingi, so ni encouraging abatakagire mu mucyakire kintu abo kuba you benefit from this collective resource mobilization. Orukubori muntu omwe no boyi oyine limitations. Konkawazo mu kigombe nkeki amana ago mugabagar mahango muno. Nawe iki wakwasuze cyo tarkwasa gukora nko muntu omwe mukikora nawe mu rubengi. Kandi ne hwera ku promoting a savings culture. Abantu bingi saving comes as an afterthought. konka Sacco ne forcing saving. So it compels you to learn the savings culture. Ekindi notunga credit, not loans, at a very low interest rate. Then of course you have a shared risk. Awokugira ngo members benji how any shocks zikuba affecting amnonga nkaba buri muntu omwe. And they also give a good return on investment. Now Mellinium Sacco, you are making a lot of money, and indeed even at FIC people are prospering because of this investment. Echin Sacco nizwera omkwegesa abantu what we call member education. So FIC nkora members breakfast tweta abantu bisha begesa members ebitari mwana bimwe. Now which there is value added on members. Why has FIC grown exponentially within the last 12 years? Mwaura tukatandika turi members nkankaga na aturiyo mu 12. Twatandika n'obusente buke atwahika mu billioni 18.6, almost 19. Chimombi ntebitwaye bembize abokuba kunarize kutandika vision eyo banta habo board chairman bayambwe n'ikintu wakitandikira kifechi kufere banta habo board chairman na twata policies twata all the kokumuru kumanya tamu yanje yo kubanza kuyahwire bangaraho yakabiri kuyahwire nanga baenda gukora nk'icy'abanyarwanda bakora kugikwatako ngaye yongerayo ahubwo no makoro kutandika ikintu abantu batina ukora ariyeho nicyo. So nkayanta ngaha when tuyawishemwe kandi institution ya church muri ndeke mpumure haze habandi and indeed the Sacco did not collapse. So tukemeza mnongo ikintu cyo kushaba. In fact our chaplain is the patron of the Sacco. So mbintu byene biturukora ntebembeza spiritual and prayer support from our church. Ekindi korkwenda ngu Sacco kure munonga ine kure ngo vision bearers not promoters n'abantu babesugwa. Bantu babesugwa. So FIC governance system is very clear. We made a decision to separate the Sacco business from the church business. So tukagira ngo mbwenu twatandikire this investment group. Mureke sente tutazituranza neze bitwero. So twatanza governance. So Sacco in governance yayo na church in governance yayo. Ikintu kiyamba kugira ngo tutaretera our spiritual leaders kutunga bizu abo kuba Sacco yagwa ne affecting our spiritual leaders of the church. So that has helped us to have a clear separation of powers, but with our chaplain as our advisor and our patron. FIC accountability is a must. Accountability. We have to be very open to the members. Members Margaret Bueno Mellinium Sacco mutaka akora shwekera akoresha chairman board na manager gikiriza but members mutsasire tukakoresha bitwa investing aha esente zafu amabo kubikika kika ukagira oti ukabeya. So FIC tugendera amushana publishing the progress of the Sacco. The Tom Church Bulletin would publish the savings, the money we have received, the profit we have made to the Tom. So omushana mukuru mnonga ni mango ikiri mu bishop omushana is a must. Kwani maana wa revival. So internal audit is very critical in our Sacco. We do both internal and external. We also tithe to the church. I hope Mellinium Sacco you give your tithe to the diocese. Yes. One of the things chat meretwatandika Sacco itwantukira ngu esheme kombe kikanisa. Yes, so turukora magoba tubanza tuyaho tithe to mu church. Yes. So Mellinium Sacco mutakuchikora ho mwetese. Ereze mukati. The accountants know how to record those things in the books of accounts. Member education has been very key and training, as I said. The other thing we emphasize in FIC is leadership development. Hati chiturukora ntugira ngo mbwenshi hati bode ji yaza kuruga after this time bahaba razondigere byabo. Nari subco kwera ariho bahaba razondigere byabo. So we make sure that there is a clear succession plan. Omurfik to kubasa kurugoko ngweja waemera ngo akwakaru, forget it. We nurture leaders deliberately. One of the problems of Saccos n'abantu abarkwija by ulterior motives akaija kagamba je AGM akatamura abantu ngusebo wa chairman akazomukinta kashita. So tokubasa kwemera umurufik tabanze kwetegereza je no kugrooming. So we groom our leaders so that we can have a clear succession plan. So that is important for stability. Mahura is very important for stability of the financial institution. Because if you allow anyone to come and be elected, we always try to ensure that we do surveys of our members so that we can develop products which respond to the members' needs. Our products keep evolving depending on what the members are saying. So encouraging members what kind of financial products do they want? Don't get stuck on just a few products, but allow yourselves to be dynamic. So for us, we give school fees loans, we give all kinds of. Now, a loan within a few hours, but a specific type of loan, which does not require a lot of due diligence. Staff training and exposure is important. We send our managers and our staff for training in Sacco business. We also send them to attend conferences abroad and other activities so that they can get exposure. Icho nacho ni chikuru okurangu leadership ya Sacco yanyu ya exposed to other environments. Send them to Kenya. Let them go and see what other Saccos are doing and get new ideas. So ebintu byo binani nyina sharing hona imwe ekintu kya bank bishop ni chikuru mnonga ningira twakuzire twabire stable instead of maybe Mellinium Sacco going it alone to start the bank, we can start the discussions as church institutions, come together and harness our resource envelope. Abokuba abarhamwe nabakora ebyo kutangaza. So ni nakubata barsiaba Mellinium Sacco on this very important success. You are really growing very fast and I'm very impressed. Na ningambira Bishop tumbwenanye kumwija mukankiriza nkabajoyininga aba member. Na tamu application self. Okay. Kanotera unkarugongo. Nebe bigambo bike kama simwe kana berezo mki.
Nani mbashaba ngo mwongere ngaro mpaka kirantebeye. Tere ngaro nchechezwe kurra. Tumwereze kitinsa mwebare yebare. Obwiro bwinji omusosate aba bantu kubahura. No zabujenyi umuntu akubasa kumara nko bwire nango ko byagamba buce no ura kansara wahagombora no zarufuno mushanga yo awayisaza so aba professor nabazi kana bataho bujenyi tubagamba kana bo binamagezi hatoshanga abantu bona bari nkauntu nda kansara wahamuruka agamba gambo kufurizo gamba Paris modo professor yaho namureba mwentu atungo muchonga bishop akatwetera abantu aba tumutera mugaro mazima no basa kutwara nkomwaka kugono kimwe hiwambugi yes professor kandi ekikuru munonga ajunura no mazo aroho muntu utobire nshendekereza abari yomushomesa yayita yayihanuka mwana Reverend Kabere ntaburaje twareba mushomesa ari apero yayihanuka kandi wo omukaza kwingo muzi atiyo shibuko tachuru nawe echo iware professor national atiyo nugamba chine nawe echo mukama wita simu yes webere mnonga yes kanda bwashomise bariyaha washomise nda kwanjura umuntu mwashomise makende yate no headmaster wa high school tokureba abo washomise nabo mugasho. Yes. Big five banjira ngo yija mureke muri carbonizing big five the marketeer. Yabare mnonga, thank you so much. Yes. Nyenda kubanjuraho Haji Tribe Kasaka kurugangara mayimero Haji webare ijibanka ne yawo yamwese nto gendre big hari twine na Kasaka cancer ni wiyimera mukureba ikintu n'abasiramu abo kandi bine mwe mugabo yawe hamwe so itoktura zaha ngo kikatanu kwa bishop mutajire tukaguma ikintu n'ekintu ukigobera muki abashije bari yomba tware center tubugabuga na banka mukamasimu nabwo cyo tuno kureba ikintu kutuwakizamu kikatuyamba yes kana urabambagamba ebyo mushana accountability professor ndagamba ngo mushana wa bishop Karenga wota gwine to kugenda nawo nabwo ico mushana wa accountability ejumbwenu na ntucheka kasa nareba manager wa DFCU yes sebo tubiremu na nowije nawe yes babo aba banka bona barya my lord bishop is bank zone twinimwe account kechikuntangaza nabo ntushangano mbitunke bitumukoro yo ni mwaka sente kitu kantu babihirizo sente zetu machura nawe yes mwe bari munonga ni tutakesire another guest speaker na nienda kushaba abaho habaho general manager ngoja abo kuba abantu bagamba konka reka tufunemo break idacika nkamushanju yes abo kuba abantu twiza kugura emugabo mugamba
webaye munonga speed babanze bakweka kado yongera mugabo yoyine my lord bishop, the guest speakers, basaba diko na bariyaha abashorora ba businessmen abantu mwena umbitinisa byanyu twabakira amazina ganje Ronald abaho kandi general manager wa Mellinium Sacco 2012. I would want to first thank our Lord Bishop and Mama Aris, Dr. Mama Aris Mwesugwa, for the vision they had for this diocese, for starting up such a beautiful and amazing institution. We believe neza kuhika imuru kwenda. Nyenda kusima board members, of course, led by Mr. Fred Tumwine, for the good leadership and also being business oriented and giving the right products for the members of this diocese. I have some few minutes that have been given. Konganyenda kwa achira no koreka my Lord Bishop n'abantu bariyaha ngutine basaba deacon kurugomo all archdeaconaries na nibashangu mwemerere for recognition. Bona baruho over 15 of them. To the heads of departments by diocese na over twinaha namba basakwemerera abinji bari nyuma ya bishop. To the principals of institutions abutu kubankinga nabo anabanda bakwenda kujoininga izoba ni mbasakwemerera. We have administrators of BSU being the US na academic registrar na murebaho Mr. Rwanjiri na yaruho. Twine head teachers ba secondary na primary na bo baruho and teachers na bono barene bingi. Twine directors of schools bakama b'amashomero abija. Yes, twine ona ba retired teachers na bo baruho. Twine abari on business ba business ladies and women charity barije na kurebaho. Those are some of our good clients. Then twineho abantu barga rugaga branch bina saba dikoni baba twina barga kabuyanda branch dabo twina barga BSU USY yobwa twine abarga ibanda barimo muhanguzi w'imotoka. Twine abarga ngarama kandi twine nabarga mbara, of course abinji nabarga mbara. Then twine abari ya zoom twine kinoni saba dikono sasire abarga kinoni nibo binji musasire. Twine abari ya zoom ka Dr. Businje owibanda nuwe turukushikiraho. Kandi twine aba road mayor umroad wite na warho baba mwanjwire n'abandi mwena ombitini sabyanyi konka na nyana rebo my mother na warumumu. So I'm glad abachini abazire mwembeto mbintu nkebi neshara zabo. So basically ekindi kwenda gamba, of course twine ba bankers baba banjwire, those are our colleagues omu industry. Mbwen twantwenda echaturetaho mura mwagweri izoba is to mobilize for shares. We have members, actually we have people who are not members, but they are our friends. But to become a member, you have to buy shares. And to buy shares, of course you have to pay some money and you become a member. If you're in business, mutsasire kugira ngo twabagurisa card, twatakwenda kuri sente za ba member, ntwenda ngo tugumye turye zitu. So to bishop wataho sente zi abetsiri kunkaka Sacco na chairman na board ndo tire sente zi so ntwenda ngo kibe clear ngu esente yonturiya nizitu turi kuyamagoba. We made 1.2 billion shillings last year. Cyombaze mukitero mungaro abaziri abatungire mugabo yo dividends muzitungiremu kandi abatazine nchango muzitunje. Nasima Professor Elon, who is also my uncle, okureba ngu yaza kujoininga naza gure mugabo. Our guest speaker Vivian is already a member. Mwensa kushaba Sir Richard na wataka jenzire mwentu wenangu weno rya abe member. So na necho twine ba staff abariyaha na nibashaba ngo murajye mu cards muzihereze buri yomwe mwe kwa tombi utari member ntusa kwigura card twine account opening forms or member twenda ngo tugure mugabo ninza kugishomera bishop buri yomwe mugabo oguyagura. This is not secretive. Twenda ngo turebe obatseyo kugure mugabo noha na bishop muhereza yongera mugabo yaine na mama Alice eziriyo otwongereho abo kwizoberi ntwenda ngo tutungemo then kumuraheze eje mugabo ntuza kujanjura aha speed no ragishome muhereze kacebezi atwira ndemere nanja ngo naija mbe namukwata or remember konko botakongira mugabo yawo hati nanyenda ngo yongereho tugishome kandi mistakatiyo no tuye nakundondera yabari munonga mistakatiyo umundetera speed no wasagumizamu then afterwards ntuza ku announcinga buri yo mugabo gwaraguri mwe bari munonga
azumukore bintu mbabaje nabo gumushije abako nawe kayizire yabitereza bakutira no mungaro mazumu. Thank you umwami wabaho. Yes, lordship ogure chimwe shares so that bukuru bwawe nyense yatwaturi yo mutawu no kitakasi bantu shabiriza abantu okuvugana na bashabalanje kandi bakaba ari abakamu wahora mancha mutubari investing rusto kuba meya tukavugana imyaka 5 yahwiro kandi shaba chamusha nabwo ico bure mugabo. Yes, chairman tumino bari kumurete. I want to recognize one important lady called Grace Tushabe from Switzerland, and studies here. Kindly stand up for recognition. Yes, Stahanawe. Yes, mgugwe abahubireho atahazumu no muhagizi witu webare. Thank you. You understand Runyankore? Okay, kamba kweta Tushabe. Yes. Mr. Igini Gundura twenda kwebaza munonga emirimo bukanenjuka no butwagenda kurunda nesente zenjwe gikakora umurimo gw'amane. Thank you so much kandi namukama naye bari kukwereza umuchara who is going to be our guest speaker. Kano karogo nakureba webare. Yes, afande webare munonga. Yes. Honorable Jovrin Karisa no mwe ombantu abatu yambere abukuba. You remember he was the MC of the Tuyugura branch Ibanda katuyamba mnonga in mobilization kana hati ya tusindikira 1 million kugura shares. Yes, izingaro tuzabishiye mwe ni munga. Yes, ingaro nakabonero ko kworeka rukundo. Yes, because this is a class of high caliber and integrity. Ingaro nza kubirenza kanyamu. Ko twaturiyo kombya rubo questions za mutwengaro kunkizo ziri automatic. 1 million from Honorable Karisa. Let me see. Wow. Bayanjura basaba diko ni mwebare mbona bariyaha ati side yitu itaba kurustayo cyesho mu gitu y'abakurustayo tuyagomzamu itutwine bakama bitu bariyaha. So nyenda ko anjura umukuru w'abakurustayo umwamika umugisha nani ngusaba oyemere. Yes, mwakira abakurustayo n'engaro zamani. Twine head of late abakuru b'abakurustayo bamasaba diko no bariyaha nani bashabana ari bamwe wanje wakaberebere mu American note mwemere. Yes, mbabo very good. Twine mu abakuru b'abakurustayo bamarisa. Mbabo very good. Yes, hatwinemu abemuruka hinabija mbarga hari. So mwebari munonga tujwekere very good. Twazagumzamu opapura mu burabiyemu headmaster wa Mbara school hamu yansemeza jeta icyo mutakigamba munonga icyatureta no kora no kugure mugabo just mutwerezo opapura cyonka tano umuntu aragata guzereka papura kwa bishop abatorine kandi bishop no manyine raini ati ko baraheze yatungo bwire naza kureba bayesiri atogwansa zire basi. So nawe bishop yakweta umudasi siona akakweta hatokiza bamba shoma be mugabo najya umuntu kansa zurogu ati matero no mugabo gwavuzireho nawe cyo nabeshengereza bishop takamutera hanze nawe cyo tugure mugabo then quickly turaheze one of our guest speakers imize tuza kubashoma bankeji tulitora higo mwene kanto wari umugishogo nyete sa Richard Kishka ojaha ugu ensiona nemanya n'omuntu are sorted akataho banka wire buringwa munonga yaba MP yaba minister mwenu ahumwire jari aha nari asenteze ze investingire taine stress nakwakira mukama wanje.
Thank you very much. Our Lord Bishop Sheridan Wednesday, founder patron of Mellinium Sacco 2012, chairman of the board members, and all the members who are shareholders, all the distinguished guests that have been invited, distinguished business community, ladies and gentlemen, I really think that a bishop took a lot of risk by inviting me to talk to such an audience, because little did he know that I last handled banking business more than 30 years ago. You can imagine from the time I was an active banker to date, I have not handled any banking business, and yet I'm supposed to make some meaningful comments tonight relevant to your banking business. Isn't that a great risk? I think it is a very big risk. Let me really say without wasting time that it has been a real pleasure and indeed a privilege for the bishop to have invited me, our beloved bishop, to invite me to be with you this evening. But before I make my prepared remarks, having listened to people who have made the presentation tonight, it would be wrong for me to be academic. I really think I should start by talking off cuff about my own experience vis-a-vis this business. And then I conclude by reading a small prepared text relevant to the Sacco. First, I really want to salute you within such a given short time, especially this phenomenal growth within the last 2 or 3 years. I've just looked at the chairman's presentation. The bank seems to have made a difference within the last 2 to 3 years, notwithstanding the challenges of COVID period or season. The question that we've been addressing, having listened to Professor Aaron, I really have nothing useful more to add, because by listening to what they have done in establishing a Sacco from 2010 to date, I thought the university had done almost textbook theory and true to your academic credentials. Thank you for living up to your theory in making sure that you address what it takes to run an efficient, transparent, delivery Sacco that everybody is proud of. I think you should give them a round of applause. Because the key issues with any financial institution, it doesn't matter what. And you need to listen to my story. Before I got into this world of politics, some of you who have you've not seen me since I joined politics. But before I joined politics, right from Makerere, my heart and soul and my profession is in banking. I was recruited from Makerere at the time of our days after I had graduated with an upper second in economics. I had been invited to work in every ministry, but Barclays then
hired me. I was the only one recruited to go and train as a banker in the United Kingdom. To cut the long story short, I trained, came and ran Barclays Bank in Uganda. I actually was the first manager of Barclays of the main branch. And I was the first one to sit on the board. To cut the long story short, when I left politics the other day, I spent 10 years, by the way, as the cabinet minister. I went into government as a minister, I left as a minister. I have never been an ordinary MP. I must confess, I don't know other position. I don't apologize for that. Now, the interesting part is that when I decided to start a bank, many of you may have heard about Nairo Bank. It was a dream that as the bishop is talking about, I was concerned that some of us have been professionally trained, but there were not very many local, professionally run local banks. And I can assure you, I started Nairo Bank. I hired a consultant who demanded $50,000. And I just said, I don't have that money to waste. I hired 3 people. I can assure I started a bank with 3 people. It was fully fledged and it was computered from 0 hour as a fully fledged bank at that time. And for some of you who may have seen Nairo Bank, some of you may have seen Nairo Bank that we sold to Barclays Bank. We were able to sell Nairo Bank for $24 million. And some of you, when you see me still a bit well attired, it is not by accident. Because you work towards a certain destiny. And it doesn't matter whether you are in government or not. And I keep telling my friends who are in politics, they get scared about the unknown. When they leave politics, what do they do? Kejoka left how many years? More than 20 years ago. Do I really lack anything? I just want to encourage my people who are still in politics that you can actually do more than just politics. Although politics has become a business, which it should not. But I did not come here to talk about politics. I will not divert. So I was just giving you my own story that it is possible to start a bank. Yes. But what does it take to start that bank? That is really the question. And I will address that question in a paper that I have prepared. But listening to people who have made reports and comments, permit me to talk about 3 things. One, as a Sacco, because I did not go into this in my paper. In my view, having seen your membership, you have a problem of quality. You've heard that our friend Sacco in Makerere has over 2,000 members, but their total asset is in the region of almost 19 billion. You are almost 17,000 members, and you are now very proud to have 12 billion. And so, my recommendation, and that is in my paper, is that this is time to consolidate and really work hard to make sure that this Sacco remains profitable. It is one thing, Chairman, telling us that, and your manager, that last year you made 1.2 billion. And another, sustaining that record. Now, that's the challenge. And that's the challenge of banking business. It is normal to invest and make money, but at the same time, it is normal to have bad dates. Prepare for periods of bad dates, because that is also normal. And that's why I liked the practice at Makerere, where you separate Sacco business from the church business. Because if a Sacco makes a loss, it's not a crime. That's the nature of business. In fact, I would be surprised if they do not have bad days, as far as I am concerned. The second point I picked was that, yes, for ordinary members, each member is supposed to pay 30,000. How much is the minimum? A share is 10,000? Yeah, that's too small. One share is 10,000. Okay, it's okay to capture the ordinary folk. So in my judgment, you should allow two kind of types of members. Ordinary folks that we should focus on helping, and at the same time, attract some of us. No, I'm being very serious. Attract some of us so that the bishop is saying there are people who have brought 50 million, 100 million. That's the category. If we can attract a big category and they bring us about 100 billion from that category and tell them not to move from, someone should not move out of membership, we would have underwritten a big base for allowing you to lend cheaply and help our poor people, in my view. I want to recommend that you do that. I also want to recommend that in terms of creating a bank, because I can tell you, I'll tell you when I get my paper, starting a bank requires not just minimum capital base, but you need to have very skilled manpower. You need to have a center of information technology, and now that the world is moving in digital world, you are just not there. I am being honest with you. Don't begin dreaming, don't begin running before you walk, as far as I'm concerned. And so my recommendation is that as a Sacco, we attract these different categories and focus on lending to the very poor households so that they can grow and prosper, as far as I can see. The danger with getting money from what I call big people is that you must, in your Sacco regulations, avoid what we call elite capture. You do not want to have the kinds of Kejukas of this world come with their 50 million and then tomorrow come and take over running of this Sacco. That must be prohibited, as far as I'm concerned, if we must focus on helping the poor of the poorest as a focus. But of course, I leave that to the board to debate. The other point I want to talk about is innovation. Let me salute you for going for Rotary. I saw prizes being given. This is thinking about outside the box. And it shows that the board and members are really innovative. It's really great. For me, I think it's a good sign. And the fact that you are using even Big Five as advertising agency shows that you are above average. Yes, you are really above average. I must salute you people, because even as I come, look at the ambience. As I come in, I look at the nice tents, look at how people are seated. People are well dressed. And that's the kind of people I want to, the kind of, you feel good, you feel happy. Do you want to associate with ugly situation? At least I don't. And I'm very honest. I'm very honest. And so I really want to salute you, but being innovative. However, innovations are not just that. This is just the beginning. And I will come to it again in my paper. Thank you for going with mobile banking. But digital banking, if I may have it. Thank you. Digital banking is the future. Let me assure you that the future is going to be digital. Unless we focus on the digital development, we have no future at all, as far as I'm concerned. But at this rate of making observations, I may end up repeating what I should be reading. May I, with your permission, because I told you, you made a mistake to invite me. I'm not used to, as a professor, making organized presentations. I'm used to business. For some of you who may not know, I'm now the chairman of Uganda Chamber of Mines and Petroleum Board of Trustees. So my whole business, I'm very busy in promoting particularly minerals. I'm a chairman of a rare earth company. I'm a chairman of another group that is looking at other future battery minerals. And you talk about future batteries, and talking about the future, you've heard of electrical vehicles. You've heard about in the future having cars without drivers and so on. The future is so digital with artificial intelligence and so on that I shudder to think if you remain local here, you must think big. And that's why as Church of Uganda Anglican, you must really get out of your cocoon, forget your small circles, combine the whole of Uganda, get together and establish a formidable bank. Why can't you create another bank that can rival, not rival, but also add strength to Centenary Bank? What stops you, as far as I'm concerned? So instead of Sacco 12, me, I came with bad news. Tell you don't waste time dreaming about bank tomorrow, because you don't just have that capacity. And it's not just capacity. The Bank of Uganda supervision and regulations are such that, and so strict that you just will not manage. You are just not there yet, for goodness sake. That is a fact. But if all Saccos pulled together, what a bank. And some of us will lend our support and even technical advice at some stage to make sure that such a thing is done. So permit me, Lord Bishop, distinguished guests, because I took trouble to make some to prepare some comments, just in case there is a point to pick. Can you permit me to turn to my text with your permission? I must begin by congratulating and saluting all those that have been involved in promoting Mellinium Sacco from its inception, 2012 to date. It is remarkable that your asset base stands at almost 12 billion today, that your membership is well over 1,700 members, and you are making net profit of over 1 billion, and that the Mellinium Sacco has been able to pay members' dividends is not only praiseworthy, but in some ways unbelievable, especially given the disruption and challenges faced during the recent COVID pandemic. Let me salute you and thank you for organizing a very successful prayer breakfast at Sheraton in March of this year. But before I talk about whether or not it would be wise for Mellinium Sacco 2012 to consider growing into a commercial bank, let us reflect on the philosophy behind the establishment of Savings and Credit Cooperative Society, SACCOs. The majority members of Mellinium Sacco are relatively humble farmers who have savings, but in most cases do not have collateral to stake in commercial banks or other financial institutions to obtain credits or loans. Mellinium is therefore a community based, owned by their members, essentially for promotion of their economic interests. Sacco owners are also users of the services that they offer. We salute and encourage this self-help, self-reliant approach, especially because of the dominance of the urban-based commercial banks. This Sacco has helped some farmers Indeed, as we had, get loans to grow some crops, bananas, pineapples, cow fattening, and purchasing inputs, so on. I do not know how they are handling members who borrow for emergencies like school fees and so on. We can therefore observe that Mellinium Sacco 2012 has definitely assisted the rural humble farmers who would otherwise have been marginalized. That is what they call financial exclusion. Now, applying for a banking license. The process of applying for a banking license is guided by the Financial Institutions Act 2016 amendment from 2004. A non-refundable application fee of 1 million is required for banks and a fee of $500,000 for non-bank financial institutions for each application for a license. There are, however, several supporting documents that must be submitted to the Bank of Uganda. One, an information sheet for the applicant for each of the substantial shareholder. This is in Schedule 2. A personal declaration for each of the proposed directors and officers and substantial shareholders, Schedule 3. Individual credit references. 4, proposed capital structure. 5, a business plan and financial projections for at least 3 years, including assumption underlying projections and sensitivity analysis of the plan on varying assumptions, certificate of incorporation, and memo of an article of association. The minimum capital funds of a license to be licensed at any one time must not be less than 25 billion as we speak. The minimum capital funds for a licensed non-bank financial institution is no less than 1 billion. Just in case you continue with the dream, because I don't want you to abandon the dream, because at one stage we will have a bank. I went out of my way and got a licensing checklist, which I will leave behind with the bishop, just to make matters easier for anybody to attempt the exercise. I'm just making the work much easier. There is no contradiction at all. Now, given the rigid and tough legal technical requirements, does Mellinium Sacco 2012 have the financial muscle, skilled professional manpower, and technical knowledge and experience to think of venturing into commercial banking at this stage at your development? Do you need to divert your time and resources to contemplate becoming a commercial bank now? You do not have the critical capital requirement of 25 billion to begin with, and I hear voices talking of increasing the minimum capital to 35 billion. My honest judgment and recommendation is the no. If you examine, I have already talked about your performance. I will not repeat this. It should be also noted that banking is no longer based on brick and mortar. Given the type of clients that you have, medium, small operators, farmers, there is value and need to focus on innovation and training to effectively serve this business segment. There must be deliberate efforts to digitize and streamline operational processes. This is important. I'm pleased to learn that you have already embarked on mobile money banking services. This is just the beginning. Africa, the whole of Africa, now accounts for 70% of the world's 1 trillion mobile money value. 1 trillion. The future of African banking is mobile. You will not believe it to learn that there are over 180 active mobile wallets in Africa. It would appear that COVID-19 pandemic has been very instrumental in pushing mobile money market. We have digitization of payments whether you're paying bills, any nature of bills, school fees, and unlocking all manner of access to more diversified product services. There is no doubt, therefore, that Africa is the forerunner in the mobile money market. It would appear to me that you must invest in appropriate technology platforms moving into the future as you consolidate. You should work on getting appropriate technology to focus on savings and credit financial management, human resources, financial planning, and budgeting. You may actually, my Lord Bishop, your management may get in touch with me. I'm in a position to advise if you are serious on taking this route. I happen to be very well informed and linked vis-a-vis many of these new apps and those that can make a difference in digital management. Let us recognize the fact that society we serve today presents several challenges. There is a big problem of fraud and having dishonest staff. There is a problem of even dishonest borrowers as clients that could potentially cripple your Sacco if your lending is not well monitored. Without taking too much of your time, my prayer and hope is that given that your Sacco is church-founded, you should manage most of these challenges better than most. We should not only pray, because I really like the spirit of being church-driven and having church morals. However, I always encourage people, prayers also have a limit. If you pray without working, I doubt whether prayers can produce anything. For those of you who know me, when I used to represent people in Shema, I would tell people, if you don't work, don't even eat. And whenever I was asked to speak in churches and gatherings, by the way, I never liked rallies. And for 10 years, I was a minister and a member of parliament. I never had a political rally. Ours was to discuss development, period, until I left. The idea was, for goodness sake, get down to working. And I would quote, I was asking my bishop and colleague here, they've given me a clause in the Bible, and I want to leave it with you. You thought I was not very learned with the Bible. Once in a while I do. Yes, this is, it is in 2 Thessalonians 3:10. Has someone got a Bible here, or is it too late? Because I want to leave it with you. This question of relying, my Lord Bishop will excuse me, I want people to pray. Don't misunderstand me. But this prayer without working, it will not take you anywhere. You must pray and work. I want both of us to and I want us to quote that 2 Thessalonians 3:10 as the binding verse I'm leaving with you as I leave this podium. Can someone read it out for me, please? You have a Bible there? Can you read it, please?
Chapter 3:10.
Yes. Can you read aloud, please? Or you come here, please. Or if you have a loudspeaker, it's okay. It's okay. You can read from there, no problem.
All right.
Yes.
Verse 10.
10, please.
For even when we were with you,
yes,
this we commanded,
yes,
you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat.
This is Paul telling who?
The Thessalonians.
This is not Keshuka. No, go on. This is really very important. Go on.
Go on.
Hey, you should not, you didn't finish that.
Verse 11.
Yes.
For we hear that there are some which walk among you.
Eating, I wanted to.
Yes, disorderly,
Yes.
working not at all, but are busybodies. Now, then that you are such, we command and exhort you by our Lord Jesus Christ, that with quietness they work and eat their own bread. But ye, brethren, be not weary in doing well. And if any man does not obey our word by this epistle, not that any man and have no company with him, that he may be ashamed.
Okay, thank you very much. Mine was simple. If you don't work, don't eat.
Don't eat.
The rest, the bishops can explain. As far as I'm concerned, that is my message. So as I conclude, distinguished guests, Mellinium Sacco 2012 appears to have been firmly established. My recommendation is that you should focus on serving your relatively humble members to grow more prosperous. Please invest in technology and innovation. May God bless Mellinium Sacco 2012. Thank you for listening to me.
I think he deserves a round of applause. Mumwanjerengaro. Yes. Bishop said nicha kuchiza mali ni chimwe. Na manyako identifying abantu on professionals zao. Na bwecho tini hakubasa kushobia. Na bwecho abantu nkaba. Tinye njabirasha na ntakwenda hizi. Agambi. Ati norauka noze hariya mu urwe bukono shango yemerera no muntu muri mu bostarum. Ati no siga ngo muntu ngo bakongere ngaro zamani. Thank you so much. Yes, we must start thinking big. I don't want to give some reserve. As a chintu mucha avoiding, bareke kujanga hajwana give some no tari tamoto kwa na checking. So no jangu bya gwambe. So ngumwe harebi into because the motor simply bahani I can say everybody is checking my parking. I will join a give some abasakwiza byachi. Nienda recognizing President wa Mothers Union, Dr. Jenina Mwesije ayaria hayija Mama Dr. Arse mutire hechinte chati no Dr. Wanyiro Dr. bakaza bandi babasa kwisa kutina agakora mwese gwabataho Mwesije mwatu turinde tumwesije ya Richard Kijukana gamba kanda ichire ebinte mu abantu batina kugamba ko kugamba bakuja ngo noyewura konka nabana gamba amazima kutungo mugisha ku meeting abantu nkaba no bahera rya bishop afitero mga bobare kubaturundanda professors abariya mutubiro imwe muze murebe class ya people of high caliber and integrity professor ba doctor bine PhD kambo sheme mazima manike mukono omwe babere bashatu bana batano mukaga mushanje umunana hatina roho mwenda I mean ababantu no biya hyaba lawyers abariya mutubiro yes yabariya mbabo twino bashatu mukireba yes bankers mutubiro you see those are the bankers no mukoro cyo kuzoka shangara basaba diko bakurenga ikumi basaba diko mutubire ngaro banzo kirebe abakuma reverend abahure mutubiro nabakazamani yes bas ito basugara ntumanya levels zito nabwecho agent class bishop ya turundanira nabwecho nanjangu twetware abashomesa abongize sente kandi sabati chawini mutubireho abashomesa reba ruhanga bishire mbabo norebo nambana kamba sheka mukafakari nawe ejo mukama naye barokubijwa mbwenu kanyeteho another guest speaker Madame Viviane Gundura kankushabe ojaha kandi abacaro mu mutiriyana ija ni mu muremwa y'itsima kutungo mukazi wamani nkogo dena kija ni opapuro na nishaba mutandika kutuhereza bwo kutura ibintu turiya ntuza kubushoma tukuza kutwara ho wiri.
My Lord Bishop Sheldon Mwesigwa, Mama Dr. Alice Mwesigwa, Chairman of the Board, Mellinium Sacco, my fellow guest speakers, the clergy here present, ladies and gentlemen, in your respective capacities, Mukama simwe. Tumutero mungarohona. Amazina nko kubanyanjura nibanyita Viviane Gundura, and I want to take this opportunity first of all okusima omwami wanje Mistigini Gundura, first of all okumpa ride akampsia herizoba baba mwanjwire. He is a man we've worked together for the last 38 years, and he's my biggest cheerleader. Ninyenda kutwara mjishogu kusima Bishop for inviting me to share with you. Ninyenda kujeta fellowship kuri nijo mukapasite yanje nka financial consultant whom I am now, na ninza kukora PowerPoint na nebindi nkebyo. Ninjira in terms of introduction, so that manye, the person who is standing before you, I started my career in Barclays after graduating from university. I decided to take early retirement and go into financial consulting, which saw me do consulting within East Africa. Ava mwahari mwembire mutekateka ngushananka ni nkura Barclays ya Rwanda tabayo Barclays. Nkandi executive director of Barclays by the time I left. But in Kigali, I have worked with the two banks at senior levels, but trying to consult and support them to see them become or attain their visions as commercial banks. I have also supported women in development with the US non-government organization. And those are the sort of things that I do at the moment. So when Viviane Bemberiro Misho Erizova, at the moment I consult under 80-20 consulting company. 80-20 imwabariyo business nemanyisangu okozese 20% resources obone kutunga 80% return. Narishiba staff ba wabarungi, the 20% of them, how can you benefit and use those 20% to get 80% results? So that is our sort of theme or vision or mission, that sort of thing. Bishop akanyetangu sharing or sort of mboreke what actually you as Mellinium Sacco are. Konkanta kajijiremo na ninyenda kubuza by show of hands. Nivahi abine migabo Mellinium Sacco muteke mikona higo. I think those are more hands. Abatine ni wandu kwenda hati. When I come, oh, okay, my fellow guest speakers are not. I am sure by the time you leave, because when I attended the breakfast, I was converted and I joined. That was in March. And I decided to start with a shareholding of 5 million. The reason being, I will break down for you the reason I went that route. So about investments, because Mellinium Sacco is about investing. Why should you invest in Mellinium Sacco? What is investments after all? Nituchetegereza ekigambo investment nituchetegereza. Omuzungu naagira ngu investment is the process of allocating resources, especially money, into something where you expect to get a return, either through income or through a capital gain. I'm sure rangu ejejo honorable kejuka na jetegereza no kunchira. Then omuntu akubuza, why should you invest? Imwabi inemigabo Mellinium Sacco, why should you add? Imwabatine, why should you go into it? First of all, when you invest, ni manyaba kuchuro bwinji, harhaba hure ni mutungo mshara, harhaba riyo mu consulting ni mutunga business mutasia esente, harhaba shomesa mwino mshara, business people ni mukora magoba. But an investment, why you should invest, is so that otunge income stream endijo. Etari yawe yobutosha. Actually, Bishop wachoboraji. Okateke sente omurutoche omunte tokumane bikufayo. Konka, if you invest in a Mellinium Sacco or some other investments I'm going to talk about, you get some other income. This income nekuyambo misho when you retire or in times of uncertainty, or it helps you to get financial independence. Financial independence, independence in Pamian Mitetegeres. So that is the reason you invest. What are the types of investments? Professor Aaron Kuya Nagamba yabarabiramu certain portfolios ezibine. And those are the different investments people go for. Konkani yenda kubore ko mutane resolve oguriya hagati ya ku investing of Mellinium Sacco and these other options that we are going to talk about. And what are they? I'll just give you a list of them. And maybe even before we go into that, why should you invest? There are reasons that guide you or drive you to invest. But the biggest driver should be the return that you are going to get at the end of the day. So when you are looking for where to invest, first of all, establish what sort of return am I going to get? But also there are other factors like having a cash flow. Tokuzikwata zono kaziteko mchintu chimwe kugura nk'itaka narishi echombeko habakuba nziza zigumamu kawagira nk'ekizibu tokaguza kizimbe in one day naro mukwezi. So no wana wetenga kugira ho ka liquidity. So no basa kuteka zindi in some of the instruments nko kuturabirebe. Now, what are these types of investments? One are government bonds. Government bonds hatiwe nohora government sente. And these bonds, some of them are short term or long term. Tandikane myaka eshatu, etano, ikumi n'etano. Konkani nyenda mbagambira ngo bwa hati government bonds ezemyaka 10 wakwata millions za 10 okagura government bond ya milioni 10. The return on that investment you are going to get is 14%. Nibajeta yield. Nibagumani bakuhama goba every 6 months. Konkano tunga zingahi 14%. Imwa Mellinium mutungire zingahi 52 for heaven's sake. Some of you might be saying the two zona tuzitungire but hirehe kichweka ezindi za sigarom business. Yes, that's in fact that was a very good decision that the leadership took. that you reinvest as a retained earning so that esente ezo zibayambe kukora sente zindi. But even then, 52 wajigabanisa mukabiri no ihamu 26% toka hechiraha 10-year bond ya government. The other type of investment is property, real estate. Niza kozesa report yako Knight Frank is a company in Kampala which does letting of houses and buildings. And the return on the real estate business, if you are really obeying the law and giving to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, orikusha mishoro, orikusha rental tax, yeah, otakubuza buzoka zeko munshaho kora manyanga. The return of a report done in 2019, that was before COVID, was 6.8. I want to believe now that is within Kampala. Even if you bring it here, Omurimba Rome, Aroka Jitwaro Witiba and Yunkuruga, think Hamanguneza Kurenga Munana percent. One or Shashure Mishoro, Konkahar Havakubuza, and that is you are Christians, you shouldn't do that, is 6.8%. Now, I want to give you an example. If you were to invest in a share, for example, MTN, not a New Vision, has a result to talk ill of any other company, but I'm also going to say the facts as they are, because it is on paper. So it is not my information. This is information from their own business anyway. Now, MTN share of Gahati, it valued at 185 shillings. As at 29th April, omwako, baka declaring a dividend. Dividend eje keri shilingi na 0.7 per share. Mwaba kumanyechi baro ejo ni percentage. 4.7 over 185, nyoweni hamu 2.5%. That is not my mathematics. Now, buying shares in MTN or buying shares in Stanbic or buying shares in DFCU or buying shares in New Vision, that type of investment is another type of investment called stocks and shares. You buy a stock, you become a shareholder. Like you are going to buy stocks and shares in Mellinium Sacco. So murebo mutano guruho, then hamuherugweni is over, you determine where to put your money, where you are going to get a very good return. New Vision of Gahati, share yabo area hari 15 ni 155 shillings. Actually, for them, they've been having challenges to the extent they have stopped trading the New Vision share on the stock exchange here, Uganda. They also don't understand what the problem is. So to protect the organization, they have stopped. Konka, before that happened, this share, when in 2016 was at 551. In January 2021, it was 314. In January this year, it was 165 shillings. Ogahati, area 155. It has a challenge. So when you are going for investments, banzo shuzu mechitongo recho kuza kugura musheyazi, chemerire chita. Now this brings me to our Mellinium Sacco. When you look at the performance ya Mellinium Sacco, it is unfortunate we came late and I found, I think, most likely the chairman had talked about it, but I saw the numbers of the audited accounts. Mellinium Sacco, when you look at the key fundamentals of business, the loan book grew by 58%. The deposit book grew by 30%. The interest income grew by 66%. The bottom line, Amagoba, grew, my goodness, by 80%. Those are fundamentals you cannot run away because it shows a healthy business to invest in. So, twareba shares, twareba bonds, harwana bonds ezindi ezebitongore. For example, nk'ekitongore kyandi kyenda kuza mu business, it can decide to float a bond, to sell a bond, let's say ka billion ka 10, ekugire ngu wagura bond ejo, okamara nayo emyaka 5, nibaza kuhanka interest 12%. But these rates never go to the levels they are 52% kureva obwa hati, which you are enjoying in Mellinium Sacco. The other types of investments are mutual funds. Hazimwe abakuchiro bwingi ningira hati numujimanya ejo mutual fund abantu these days, especially I want to believe that Professor Aaron and that Franciscan Sacco, you are investing in it. They are called unit trusts. It's normally done by most of these insurance companies, the UAP Insurance Company of East Africa. Konka wareva return investment it is between 10% and I think the highest anybody is giving is 11%. The other type of investment would be to go into commodities. Ebhimba, ebchori, Goldie, ente. Now, those are the most unstable and unpredictable type of investment, which actually needs hands-on, which you may not have the time for. Now, the other type of investment, and to caution every gentleman and lady seated in this tent this evening. Cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency, mutarita yenu shuyanyu. Habokuba, this is an investment in this country, at least it is not regulated. So you on your own. The price is determined by the treasurer themselves. It's not regulated. Nobody knows where the headquarters of this cryptocurrency, whatever it is, sits. It is virtual, it is nobody knows where it is. Wazayo, you on your own. But there are people who are risk takers. They say, Niza kuzayo kuzirafe, and kuziragoyo zigoyo. Koro ine nyingi zokugwayo ziteyo. Konka korotine zokushisha. If I were you, I would bring it to Mellinium Sacco. So we have looked at stocks, bonds. They are also bank products. Now, my fellow bankers who are seated here, I don't want to decampaign you, but I want to tell the ladies and gentlemen, wakwate sente ya wakajiteko mbanka, savings account, ninjira hati interest rate ninjira zirinka 2%. Or 3. We go ranka fixed deposit. Think hami yangu niwaza kuhereza anything above 6%. But Mellinium Sacco is giving 12%. Abishe mwe sente muzdire. Omu 2% kandi mwinaba kubahereza 12. Government na yo in some instruments as wakweta treasury bills. Those are short term. Amezi 3, amezi 6, omwaka. Konkano omanyangu treasury bill rate obwa hati. Eyamezi 3 is about 6.6%. Now, there is no way a bank is going to give you more than the treasury bill rate of 3 months. Unless if they have some funny business they are doing themselves. Eyamezi mukaga is about 8.1, I think, their last trading. Eyomwaka is about 8.9. Hata abwenchi nozangura treasury bill, he never kuza kuhereza 12%. Bahereza 12%, esente bazihore, Looking at the accounts of this Sacco, it is a well-run Sacco. And I think the leadership, the manager and his team actually deserve a hand clap. Running a bank is not an easy business, like Honorable Richard has said. It's not a cup of tea. Like he was telling you, if they make a loss, you should expect these things. But because this Sacco was started on a footing of Christ and God, and I want to believe when they are working, they are working for God. You know what Colossians, I think 3:23 says? That do everything like you're doing it for God. I want to believe that that gentleman and his team do the same. Otherwise, you would not get a bottom line of 80% in this market in the COVID time. These guys deserve a hand clap. Now, in brief and in summary, where have you invested? In real estate, where you are going to get 6.8. In bonds, where you are going to get a maximum of 14 for 10 years. In unit trusts, and I'm not decampaigning anybody, I'm just shedding light. In unit trusts, where you are getting 10 to 11, depending on where your money is. In land, where you're waiting for capital gain. Land, by the way, is capital gain, appreciation. And sometimes if you bought it in the wrong place, the capital gain may never come. Or you better think of the right place to be. As we were coming with Mr. Igundura, I told him, Konkashi, we need to put more money here. By the way, he's already a shareholder. He's shareholder number 12. He came in before me. So I said, you know what? If this trajectory of the performance of this Sacco continues, even if it was to slacken, because business is not constant, and maybe we get 40% this year, you now would have a profit of 2 million for my 5 million. Where do you get that in this Uganda? Whom do you give 5 million in these investments I've talked about? And in 12 months, they give you a clean 2 million. Nowhere. And even if, which I actually want to encourage you, all the shareholders who are invested in Mellinium Sacco, that whenever they retain a certain portion, actually, because this is actually helping you to grow your shareholding and you'll get more money. But you are getting something that is better than anything in this market that I've talked about. So, ekibuuzo, where are you invested? As you think of where to put your money, and I want to thank you. God bless you.
Kamba shabe engaro. Madam Vivian, thank you so much. At business, as hinezua gamba, is turumu nonga na hura naira richelo. Vihimba, abakawiyando mugusha. Is a business to a woman, koka webare munonga. My Lord Bishop Ninjira, noza kuturondera yogundo murundi. Another dinner kandati we rose no J country shashura. So you automobilize injira bantu kora dinner unka sarucha doku ya jigamba dinner na yojo njeze sikinka mtware tanu mwentu gani na abantu binese. So na wecho tuongereyo ogundi abantu nkabo batwete. Kan abantu bizemba chimanyangu tuzakutunga hobwire burimo. Now baseba nabanyabo. Hello. Chidara chife. nabanisha bakwa kuba ohina ine kibuzo tutakagira dina tugakiraho nke buzo yo nugiro okubabuza abakobwa akambaroho noija nobuza abakobambagamba abamwe na ndeno mhandika maybe abatakwandika hino kumkweka kasa then noija nobuza mbagarukamo then abantu bashaba nankana shares abagura opapuro bombusindike turabentunga dina ninza kwija zona tushoma ntureba na nezi twagura mwebare muno so no basaguma hori no yumsi omukono omusigazogo nakurabye konka webishumuruzo takizire shumuruzo bye motoka twara abamukono and please ojuro businje uzo mu rurimi ro kwitegereza ji kantaro rurimi rutakumanya.
Okay, mwebare mwena.
Excuse me, General Manager, you come here and we answer questions.
Amazina n'umura musibowazi Garugaga. Ikibuze cyaje cyabakiri aha Sacco yiteri yo mu Bishop Stuart. Twine Sacco zibwambirwe twera hiturukorega kuyo nani mbashaba icyo ryo nari barhaha batwege so kutwakubasa kushashura umusako zito ko twirabe hari yacu Stuart ati batwege so kutwakubasa kushashura umusako zito dena bana bakashoma gifutari kugira ngo twetsindike sentence nari tutambure turige nkazarugaga ngutsa kushashura tuyusho ibyo cyakire ikibuzo cyane
manager yemeraha ahande katunge kindi abakataka takagaruka mukando kahora ize cyakabuyana nacyo kiringe
ibari my Lord Bishop bantu mwena bari yabyo mu kitinde saki amazina ganje ninye Kasaka Bull ninye area kansara w'Ichwekechi dani shaba dani shoma katabaka kuna nindeba ba members abaryomo kubigiro kumutwesere edini zona dani shaba nitoba salamu reba ibari my Lord Bishop.
Garko yemere nondaba kugira batachobora
nagira ntinani neba members abaryomo aboard yona ni turebe kumuwaze ngo banka ne dini yona
yes
ni tweka basiramu gira y'umwati
very good kare tubachukura and that's a good observation omkono gondo guriya. Yes, feel free kubuza chubuzo chon
we bari munonga nyewe nabanyeta mutebe Geoffrey ku rugibanda
katurizane
nabanyeta mutebe Geoffrey ku rugibanda konsani yanje negira ngo Bishop turukutandika Sacco akabaye namani mingi go gukora Kamaso Bank konke byebero nindeba naguma nagambaye enkuri ibiri iyo kubanza nagira tuba Kamaso oba Sacco atubyona nibikora konka konsanerho negira ngo I think ahiguro kwe ukwatana tukateri ireje tukatereza Kamaso Bank nyewe cyane biramana go kuzo Mellinium Sacco because ngabantu biro mu Kamaso Bank konka nkantare mu kama wa bank so okuzo Mellinium Sacco nchine ni nchenga na hati ni nyenda kwiza kuba mukama wa bank Kamaso mwenu sa rich ya kigamba nindeba nimanya mbisomere nanye nimanya hari yo regulation zirita konka twatukireyo nibyo ntwiza kubyemera mwe bari munonga.
Very good. Leta kazinda twasigaze buzo kabiri den tubugaruke kuno yasebo yirukanga kana size oli umwana mutejo nayo cyara
mwe bari munonga. Omukulu Lord Bishop amazina ndi Abubakar Serugo Kurugarugaga. Nyowe ninzagamba cha shares. Nyowe nyine share yanche kunka kunagere kusanga account yanje kandi mwakwata sente ezakubirenize yongera shares mwazindera account ngo ndieho
nyewe nanishaba engeri turiyo nturunda shares aha bwaje sente zo tumutwayo oba emyaka 3 nengena zikagumaniza shares then kubura ikobwire mukabona kuzitwa zizwe oba ziri nyinshi mwe bare munonga
mbaza kugarukamu yes herezo gwe tubetweriza then ntwenda tutunga y'abakazi babiri mureke kunama kandi nimo mukubika
yabare tatito muranga bishop n'abagambe bitu aranarani twakateba ngizina garwansinga bana mugamba kwa chairperson ya atwereka aha branch ya Bishop Stewart no kubagira mu system yabo no kwe kutwaza ki rahangana yabare mutanshira higuru on Bishop Stewart a university level kana we being a church institution ranga simu mwentu areba ngune koraje hatwe ni student integrants twatan chiro mu university ka succeeding mu kushasha sente za beji aka institutions zitu zekanisa za secondaries na primaries na ninkezi nkeje ya ha
na hawo twajimanyi
extremis kutapingo omuraini yazo na sente tukazihayo nichi mwebare
very good kandi wa hati ntwenda bakazi babiri Edmaster Mbarahayi niyo bambagambo ko ngazenda ngatagambizi tutunga y'abakazi babiri then ebuze byo bugarikemo bakazi basa bakazi ngo mumbacenga munonga babyetegereza kare katubanze na Bishop echa kamasho then aba bagarikemo mutwara kazinda aramahoragaze mu Uganda has run out of COVID.
Nizagamba ko kacede nimpereze omuchara Vivian Igundura kishobore ko ikintu echo konke cende bibiri chikaruga Kampala kutwagire Kampala twashanga yo mshija Professor Suruma nawe yagambe bigambo nkebya Sir Richard Kijuke byagambere najangu regulation zaba nango wakatugira ngo bakatandika banka yabo ya Kigezi banka something Bank of Commerce nguko kabija babatahebera giro bija babatera technical knockout babaremesa kind of yagira ngo so no mwagumizamu mutare bank konkamu kamuri Sacco nabo manyekuru ekiwakora muheru nichi wachetegereza so no basako botinize na diri ya banka konkwa no kizano wa bank. In fact, bajango haruhoza Saccos ezikukira na banka man konkaba kama baby kabonjero.
Thank you, Lord Bishop. Bishop eti yagamba actually ni nyenda tumusimire mukamba because ko kubo ine leader atakwetegereze nko ekweyemerire na abasa kubatomeza. But it is good to listen, learn from the experts and then move in the right way. Honorable Kijuka ya chigamba kutandika bank obwa hati no yetenga bilioni 25 twine 12 so titwakayikireyo ekyakandi ijo Bank of Uganda ekashohoza plans zikugira ngu in future the bankers of course are still challenging it. Nibaza kwetenga bilioni 15 150 billion kutandika bank. Ekindi obwa hati government yitu nangona iba kuchigamba kamushange mburize kibuze eki. Government has given the Saccos a moratorium yo butashashura income tax for 10 years.
Toroveze moratorium nichi madam toroveze.
Sorry?
Moratorium chature mani. Toroveze muni wenga.
Aha. Bueno, hariho ebigambo mu runyankore utakubasa no kushobora.
Grace period. Grace period.
Ko kusasira. Ko kubahwera nibamanyango ba shareholders ba Sacco nibageza ho kweyombeka so government nebahwera ngwamagoba gimuratunge gona mugatwari mtakashashure mishoro yabahereze emyaka 10 hariho mushoro banks ndishashure mishoro echa kandi there are stringent regulations as of now when ebiragiro ebiragiro kutukuzo kutubabazungu mnonga kama nsasiri ebiragiro biri too strict to the extent ngwe myaka ebireji 2020 2021 banks listed mu Uganda mu mpaha they are not going to pay a dividend to any of the shareholders abantu abine shareholder listed ne banks eziri ha stock exchange ezatire yemigabo mukagigura nka Stanbic na DFCU as examples. Shoka ngo ni shoko muri nyankori so that hagira nkakija ngo nechikangarano so ngo hagira nkakija banka eshange hamire ebone ku withstanding a shock says manya chabira hari Crane Bank it had liquidity issues so you must have a good liquidity base to be able to handling a shock says so ni mwenda muzo mbanka dero mwaka zero dividend muza kushemerwa mugende mpora obwire burahika when the time is rife you will go in konko bwa hati enjoy the investment you are making enjoy the dividend that you are getting reinvest like they are helping you to do reinvesting half and taking half. Some people nango harho abuze kibuzo kuriya naza no kukiza without my knowing. There are people who say lianga bwokora toja kola bukozi tomorrow you might even die and you will not have even enjoyed. Ngoni kora noria you might even die without enjoying. But get a little, but I said it in my presentation that even if you are paid half, it is 25%. No other investment in this country is actually enjoying, maybe there are some, a return, but at least not in the financial market of 26% return on investment. Thank you.
Nyirobuntu bibire cyo kubanza we bari kushobora munonga advantage ya moratorium y'emishoro mbwenu nyenda turgaha to resolving twenda to be members konka turebe ngutwatu nga the best Sacco in the next 10 years second to none korecho tukagira na services ziri bare zona na digital world yona tukagira apps tukarunninga. I can tell you time kweri kantuenda kuzo bank ntuenda kuzo nje ukora. Secondly, hariho international competitiveness. Nigeria bakabine over 100 banks. I think you are aware. Have international competitiveness the bank says so by increasing your capital base minimum. Zatuba kurga over 100 as our banks zitakurenga community ni the whole of Nigeria. Imwe muri kwirukanga mutakagiziriki. Nyabura kandi nyenda kubasimira mwamperiza kazindaro naibwa imwe muri very lucky. Nimba ningambira abanyankwere banje. Mwere shabantu ba. Mwino muchagwe hano kugira aba bishop kaba mwene nkankore kacera kugira bishop ko gusera doni kagira Johnson hariya aba baseje bari ha level yawo in terms of quality yimwere konkana mbareberaho mwenu nyenda kubagambira ikintu eki nawe takwe mutamutomeza nyencha kare kagira sakweje kagwa the narier kagira. This is extremely important. Nambwenu ngokwana ugamba okuseparatinga church matters na Sacco an investment vehicle murebe very good kandi mugomize mu mutyo nyona ni mfa kubasimira ku bishop in terms of a level murebo kwa myake mbiri ndebe investments zanywa mwe nogera ngo ba bishop bona babikora mwe se nogera ngo these are unique creatures no mfechaga bareberaho. So nyabura reka tubanze tubakoze se abokwa time is now and I am 100% sure nyo na nashabire ariho umuntu yanabuza akibuzo cyo busaramu wa wajire banka yotegera dini kandi nyabura mwetwari nubwo kwera waza mu rurose tenere na ziha nubura ni ndiyo munairo bank custom and custom koko wajire service nungi buri yo mwena ageraje iwe muteho services mugire apps murere ko mahar ka mobile ko getting everything straight. You will be proud of your Sacco today and tomorrow. Thank you.
Nebare ebuze mwe babgarakamu nanye kanyongeserezeho buru kashaka sa Richard Kijukariyo nakugarukamu itwe nobutwe tatandikire omuchachi konka egisako ni business entity independent from church, running it is independent, kandi naza kushoborera na ba staff bitu twinemu Catholics, twinemu Muslims na Protestant. So mbenu okuza board ni your participation kandi ntitezo bururu. So abantu nibareto muntu okurigira oko participating kutukuza kuzahari ya kugira ngo tutere tukatero mu madini atebo tubatu aba sectarian konka abasiramu kubara yongere mwamani bakatamu nabandi tukuza ku kwereza bwa board member omuntu member aba activeness. So mbene echo kandi twaza kukiteka honka board turebe okutwa kutongera mamandi kureba ngo abandi bona baba included. Echo nukwe nkubasa kukigarikamu echa kabiri mutebe wibanda yabuza kandi bakigarikamu wanagamba bank okuzom bank echa kabiri odijo arini itwe BSU ne banking anit amashemeraga church founded awenchi gataka banking anit. Headmaster yari yo kukigarikamu konga kamnywero omfunguro my bishop ago bwire kandi no mukozi atakashobya yundi yo business tino rukumbinga ati bine mu government funds zero conditioned kugira ngo zarabo mu systems konkito kitukubashaba neze za PTA is a PTA tizine condition yachi ya government menezo nuzo twirento bashaba kandi ngera from tomorrow be nashitamere na Mr. Hamu agiye ngo tuze mutu ba present ninjira ba headmasters ezo muzitereze zero conditioned uzo musatano grade of banks ezo ntubashaba ngo muzitereze. So nayo ni nyongera mano muri yecho dividends nachoba Vivian gundura ya kigarikamu tukore nuturya nkakatare ka tukore hari akambara hariho abantu bari yo mu aging nabone benda kureba dividends zabo tutukaguma investinga hariho abine challenge mu liquidity nabo mu families zabo nabone benda akasente ko kurya in fact tukeza kuzigaboreba aba especially elderly mbashara ku nterese mu akasente makatireyo. So nimbashaba ngo ito kutukugamba kwata dividend tukwate sente tuzubaganisa half. So ntubashaba ngo supporting muri yecho document building a capital kandi nabandi baryeho. So echo nacho cyaho kityo kandi nishaba general manager aishagarike mwe cha BSU echibuzo cyo kubanza wa BSU okuba kubasa kushashura ba students somewhere.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Woine omwana BSU echaine kuhereza nabajeta PRN, personal reference namba omwana wawe ya generatinga nagikutsindikira oba niwe wakoze kushashura iwo jine no jene ya branch yona ya Mellinium Sacco ushashura taro kindi icyo cyonka mwe bari munonga.
MC
I understand Farid, our finance trust, has just arrived. Kindly stand up for recognition. Yes, Mumutero Mungaro. Banks zona ezomuri Mbarara. Zona twatunga representative.
Nanye serefishire nyenda kwanzura ba members ba Mbarara Business Club. Ba partners banje twine business club kandi turiyo planning akurete sente nyinjo Mellinium Sacco. Mwena nimba shaba ngumwemerere. Chairman within Mr. Variana group ejo narebaho bantu bace konkano batuyamba munongo. Ondisha ya hifaho. So mwe bari kwisha. Thank you so much.
Na nyenda mutwikirize tuza dinner. Na umukono nagureba linda. Kandi niwe ndatanke ni utona twaheza kutunga nankani. Konka mureke tunge dinner abo dinner tuza kubanturiya kandi amatuguru hanga kaganga tugarya. Fact inganye buza bwaciro hanga twirama tumahango ncomanyiro mu corona akana mangu turata mubugu nabwe cyo turabe twatandika tukurya ntuza kutandika kushoma abatwereza shares kandi ntuzagumza muntu buza kandi tuzaguma muntu gamba twina hameya takagambire. Yes, nabwe cyo nenda kushaba DS yaza kuja atushabire hinobu obuntu bumwe abantu no mukora registration obobu babahereza kuba kubundu wakanagire utakanyangarira munonga ntuzubasa kuyamba abokwa ukanabwe ntenda twandika bwacyo reberera ku bintu byawe konkanoza kurya. So nabwe cyo turaheze kushaba tuza kubimusya twenda line sama tware meza emeza
hata takashabire ninjira naza kugamba ko comment sinche, then after the prayer we can leave at leisure. Kantu arumchisho gumba sime munonga okwija kwanyu ombwinji muti mwetero mungaro. So much appreciative. It is really overwhelming and it is humbling, and I give thanks to God for it. And in a special way, kusima ba guest speakers. Abantu abankokuna nababagambire n'abantu abari busy abamwe ba traveling bishati to kuza America ko Vivian. Tubiye tumuhiro mu rumo gwa matters konkariyo na America. So to get this date also was not easy. Abantu bingi omwene bakira kumbuza mwahura Honorable Sir Richard Kejuka arukugira ngo umusibo kureba ngo kozire bintu birungi bingi nyono mukazi wanjye na team konkani nkiragambira abantu wano enda kore bintu abantu abo question hihi ni bakuyamba identify people who can help you hati woyine nkaba abina baretera ntubasa kuremwa kugumza mu kutunguka manya hata babina leta nibaza kureta abandi nabo nibareta abandi. It's a chain. So I really want to thank God for these people coming. In a special way also, Vivian Igundur, I want to appreciate. She was a member of the UCU Council for a long time. When mamu yo munchiko arabantu okumukora ibintu kandi bikaruga mukanda abantu abokuboine ubwo nawe transparency ya ine niyo mtawana. So kandi mwareba Professor Mushengezi nawo kuyana bagambera transparency kejuka aine chakusigayo. So transparency is also a very key strong point which we need to take to heart. Omushana ombintu bimukora mwagira omushana mukamanyana ibintu nibirga muje twasimana bamadina gandi kandi nyosere ninkigamba nyowe zo mu centenary 1995 n'umukazi wanje twizire ntari nkabashomesa n'ibintu bikukira gwinge bitwine tukatunga za loan ku rwo mu centenary bank bingi na hati inchine ya account mu centenary na ngwachi nyina account mu centenary nyino mu equity konka amagoba iwe nanye ntata hindi kandi na hati ni basa kutunga amagoba konka despite being from 95 up to now tokubasa kushanga ngo bakereze ngo hati jani iwe tukamagoba you are just a banker, you are not a member, you don't share in profits konka ntwakira abantu abamadini gona in Rugaga the facts are abasiramu abari mu branch ya Rugaga nibakira abakristayo so we respect them, we work with them, and we are okay. Mwareba akarurwa akargaha kom kama ruhanga ninjira ni wakakozire o asinga motoka ni Pentecost o ababira bakurataho n'abakatoliki tine Anglican no mu watwari kirabe cyamani ngweni yebera message kurga ruhanga kubagarukamu ngweji banka ne yitu twena omusiramu yaburamu no mu Anglican nito twaburamu maybe next time so mwe bari mnonga katugarikira tutakabacereza abamwe bazibandamanya ijo shabe mushabe deni imperezo mcisha shabere byo kuriya na no mukoro gona from here I know ekintu nikiza kweyongera kutwarigere Kampala nizeze sente zagumize muna membership kweyongera n'abantu abongerire mu kimwe sente hato butwarga ninyesiga kandi nimwe n'ababariya kutu twenda kusima ikintu nikiza kweyongera kama baombi
katushabe kama rahango bushobozi bwona kusima mnonga habo mukoro murungi ogutwatandikaje kandi kahika shaheji yabare mnonga habwe bigambo byabagamba babatwetire ebyaba birungi ebyatugarra mamani kandi bakatworeka eyituru kuzamuna harungi yabare ahabwe umureberezi kutweta yabare ahabwa chairman wa board na board members na staff okuteka tekeraje kandi yebare nahabwa abantu abija kurwo myanya etarukushana bakarugahare kandi bakagumisiza no kusiyeza shaha ngweno biyona mukama ntubikusimera ohabwe kitinese ohimbisubwe cyacire yatebekanisubwe ojeze ojihomuji turakitunge tugwise jo mubiri no mwoyo tugumize muntu kukorera kandi Sacco yitu ogikurakuranise ahabwe kitinisa cy'izina ryawe Yesu Kristo mukama witu
obusinge bwarahanga burengera kwetigiza ko muntu wena burinde mitima yanyu no bwenge bwanyu mugumene manyarhanga kandi mukunda no mwana wa Yesu Kristo mukama witu omcisha gwarahanga obushoborozi bwona tateitwe no mwana n'umwoyo kwera gumeni mu mwena kandi omucishogo gureke kwargaho hati nebero byona muriye mugero businge you live at leisure abatutebekanisize cyaciro n'abayishanyu kandi abakuba manyane mbamanya ona no sigahe byo kureba yishanyu zawe cyo muriye munurwe speed ayongere
obere my lord bishop twine opapuro mu registeringa obo babahereza for accountability tuzakwasha abantu bo muri agenda nabo opapuro yes bishop ati manager bishop yagamba kandi tokujo tuborekire yagira ngo twena tuzakurya ibyo bya manager ngira tora kawo so manager kwata property yawe so mwimuke numuza kubimusya bishop webera mutero mu ngare bya inconvenience sente ziraboreho tuzakora kutwashashura kandi katuruho so nawe cyo manager kwata so abakwimusya mwimusye kuturabe nturiya myenda manager list mu muri kira abantu aba bishop abagure mugabo n'ikintu gishukura umunonga mugume mushitamere tutaguma tubimusi muchikoro bantu we have got 2 polling stations, I mean serving centers tutahumuru rwakachebeze twine serving center ibiri noreba Stahumburu wakachebezi. When Tumayonikaba pouring stations. Movemusie parampora. Akantu ako wa wiring muntu kwina manesi yani nchibasoko muteganza. Tujuro kugumisiriza. Yes, tujuro kugumisiriza takashangano rya wenka hameza. Abantu bakugira ngo ine appetite erengere. Hati no sasra nk'abantu baragagabiza na saba deacon no gira mbaza kurya muteme bitabemerire. Aboko kurga hari yaberuka karugaga. Yayo kwata umutu. Sasra abanyibanda. Yes. Na nitwa bakatete mutusasiro bwire bono rutindo ruhiguka. Bitu ntwenda kubebaza mwebare kwija mwebare kwijo mbwinji 100%. Yes. Bishop Kweta okahonalinga his invite nechintu shaman munongo. Okutambura chiro arobo chikwetagisa. Yes. Farida sure yeah. Onyo harobo chikwetagisa ababanke zindi mwebare munonga. Yes. Farida tuje tukomura mu Mellinium. Kano Farida yakwezingaho. Farida nabasa kwigura Counter Street. Farida yemera. Ogo muntu no muntu wa mano banka yakoramu wena ha street zinagira tereta kapopura na nakashani akwiguro damusi abantu wabo.
Mwebare mnonga webare mu speech kumpaka time kan banyeta Farida Nandaura wa Hattin branch manager on finance trust Mellinium Sacco na nyeni member today na guro mugabo ya na nyeni bashabanka abantu wade tubyomfaye mu Mellinium Sacco na finance trust na yituteka tekeho business etambure na yo banka nunungi mwebade mnonga seus.
Yes. Kanshi okwimusiano also you are in control. Okay. Kare bore chira ukachi abukorwe the line ya telecom bore inzira.